kinematics. So basically this is the bone tool. And now if we launch Flash, some of you may have read that in the textbook. It's once again lesson 5 in this week's chapter, using inverse kinematics. It's a great tool and it's a big time saver. You guys did the last week's assignment. Remember when you had that stick figure jumping around? Now if you were to apply the bone tool, that would have made life far more easier. So how do you use this the bone tool? So let's actually first, I'm just going to create something. Let's see, what kind of, maybe a spider or something. Let's create a spider. And let's see if I can see. I'll just use this. I'll stick it on there. To make it easy, I'll just have a few legs. Easier for me. That wasn't a great move there. So I'm going to take this, Control C, Control V, free transform. And sometimes, I'll do things and I think, geez, it just doesn't work out the way I really wanted it. And you can make those changes. So I'll just rotate it. Not so great. Let's move it here. Control V. I'll rotate it. So I'm just taking the same legs and making life easier for myself, I guess, rather than spending too much time and just kind of shave that off. Okay, let's add another one. So free transform, and I'm just going to throw this in down here. Control V, it kind of looks like a spider. And let's put it there. Oh, does it look like a spider? Oh yes, no, kind of. Okay, now we're going to go to the bone tool. So let's go to spider. So this is one way of doing it. We just have one single object. And we kind of want it to be walking around. It's going to take a while to give it the effect of how a spider walks. You need to really know the anatomy of how any particular object tends to animate. So it's always a matter of, looking at how do animals, spiders, people, how do they actually move? So we're going to go to the bone tool, and we're going to use a bone tool, and I'm going to start here and create a point. Then I'm going to stretch out, create another point. And these are points. So I'm just clicking, just moving on. So I'm just going to zoom in. Now do the same thing at the other end. So these sections are going to allow me to move. Now point there and finally at the end. Now I'll create points here. So I keep building this as I go along. And finally, or towards the end, and I think I messed up there. Well, no, I didn't. That's fine. I could go. Keep going. There. So anyway, now we have our spider. Now I want that to kind of animate. So now, currently, nothing is generally happening, but we can move it as opposed to doing a frame by frame. So now you need to kind of move it. So I'm going to say on frame 5, it's going to kind of move up a bit slightly. And it can be a bit tricky. Let's move that down. Move it up. Move this guy up a bit. And you can see if you try to move one part of the structure, the whole structure generally tends to move. So now on frame 10, I'm going to have these guys come back a bit, the front legs back a bit. And you need to believe me, it's not going to be great. So if you're just wondering. So now I want the back legs to move forward. Okay, now the front legs would move forward a bit. So I could say move it here. And yes, it's time consuming. So I'm trying to do this fairly quickly. So now again, now I want the middle legs. And now I'll do the back legs. So let's have a quick look how this thing is moving. It looks more like a crab, to be honest, doesn't it? Yeah, but you can see it's actually moving. So I could keep going. So move forward. And then kind of, let's see what the backs are. Then I need to get these a bit bent. It just doesn't look real. Get it like that. But imagine doing that with the frame by frame. So now let's have a look at the last one. So I need to get that back to that point. So I'm going to push these back so it's kind of moving. And this one may be limping. Well, you can make it limp if you want to. Okay, now kind of go back. Some of you may be getting bored watching me just do this. So there. So that's kind of giving you the effect it's moving. Would you agree? It's kind of moving. It is. So I'm now going to create a background, another layer which is going to be background. I want to see, what backgrounds can I find? So I'm going to Google. I don't know, let's say background floor. See what images we come up with. Let's see. Too many choices. I hate that. Don't know what to go for then when you have too many choices. Let's go for has a watermark on it. Let's come out of this. Let's try this. Let's go with the original image. Let's go for this.